been speaking to quite a number of artists over this past couple of months since the lockdown and the COVID and all the rest of it. I'm delighted to be joined by a gentleman who has made a huge impact. When you mentioned the song Hit the Diff or Slip the Clutch and numerous songs such as that, there can only be one gentleman to talk to. His music has not alone had a huge impact in Ireland, but in many other countries around the world as well. His music is streamed quite literally worldwide. He's one of the few people to actually perform live since the lockdown in front of a crowd. I'm delighted to say hello from his home in County Monaghan, the one and only Marty Mone. Marty, how are you?
Hello, Jerry. All's good. Yeah, all's great.
That's excellent. Listen, first of all, well done on your incredible success. Hit the Diff has become like just a worldwide success for you.
Yeah, it's still going as good as the first day is over, and I think it's nearly 6 years ago now at this stage, and it's still going so well, you know. So it's been absolutely brilliant, you know. I couldn't complain because it's every week there's some kind of an article about it or something happening about it, you know. It's great.
Indeed. Well, where did the influence for it come from? Was it from working on the farm and all that?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. So I was working for my uncle from a very young age, driving from a very young age. So I was driving, playing guitar and doing a wee bit of driving when I was about 10 years of age, you know, just getting into it. And then when I was 15, I was pretty much driving full time and playing music at the weekend. And basically, I was nearly 30 years of age then. I decided to write a song about the driving. So while I was driving the tractor, come up with two ideas. One was the Mone and so and bailing kind of a song, and then there was another song in my head called, you know, Hit the Diff and Pray She Goes All the Way. So I was in the studio, I was building a studio in the house, and I decided that, wonder could I put these two songs together, would it even work, could it work? And so I kept twisting and turning things, so eventually I put the two songs together and created Hit the Diff, yeah.
There you go.
I recorded and put it out, and it was the pictures on my phone that I put into the video just to, you know, for the crack, and that was really, it just took off from there.
It certainly did take off. I mean, it was just an astounding success, and not alone success in Ireland, but I mean, it's travelled all over the world.
Oh yeah, definitely. I just before the COVID-19 closed down here, we were playing in Australia and New Zealand this year, and I was in New Zealand the year before that doing my own shows. With, you know, singing my own songs out there, doing my own gigs, and I have to say, everywhere you go, and we get lots of messages from all over the USA and all over Germany, and you know, so like definitely it'll be the UK and Ireland's my biggest following, but it's definitely all over, you know, which is great. That's the good thing about the internet. You know, people can find it, so it's brilliant.
It is indeed. And then you also released another song which did extremely well also, Slip the Clutch.
That's right. So Slip the Clutch was, when I put out Hit the Diff, I knew I was going to have to come up with something to keep the thing going, you know, not just to be that, you know, one hit kind of a thing. So when I used to be driving the lorries as well, and I decided, I was thinking a lot, I knew I had a lot of fan base in the UK and places, and I was just thinking of the amount of lorries that actually run the roads, you know, between Ireland and the UK. And I was like, you know what, instead of going to the second tractor song, I'll go with a truck song. So I wrote Slip the Clutch and a full album, recorded 10 songs of my own, and put Slip the Clutch on it. And I have to say, it and Hit the Diff is neck and neck and sales ever since, you know. But it never will get the same recognition because Hit the Diff's always going to overpower it, you know, shadow it, you know. So, but it's still doing very well, you know. So it's about the trucking scene, you know. So then I eventually bought my own 580 Scania truck to go back driving it to the gigs and that, you know. So I'm still keeping me toe into the driving as well, you know, so it's good.
Excellent stuff. That is brilliant. Now, you released another album as well, which was Steer the Rear, which also had original songs on it. It also had the ploughing song on it, which was used by the National Ploughing Championship people.
That's right. It was the Ploughing Championship. I think it's near 1 million views now too. It's doing very well. So it was actually it was RTE and Dublin would got on to me for one of the ploughings we're doing, and they just asked me would I write a song to play on the show at the end of one of the ploughing, and I said, sure, I'll give it a go. So I wrote it and one day and recorded the next. So it was used for advertisements. So it actually done pretty well because I'd be well used to the ploughing, you know, as all as at the ploughing. So it done pretty well, you know, and that was a kind of a tractor edge there too, you know, so the young ones seem to love it as well.
Indeed. I've just actually checked. Hit the Diff has in excess of 10 million views. Slip the Clutch on you. This is just on YouTube. Has over 8.1 million. I mean, that's astounding stuff. I mean, the ploughing song, you know, on just YouTube alone, this particular version of it, now the 2018 version, but I know there's a number of versions, you know, was over 8,500 views. I mean, that's, an astounding amount of views. And that, as I say, is probably not fair because this is only one particular video of it. There's a number of videos of it, I know that.
Yeah, well, that's the funny thing about the modern day. The good thing when it out hit the Diff, it was only really YouTube where you could really, most people went to see videos. But as every year passes now, when you're putting up a song, there's that many platforms, you know, and no one really goes around to add them up. But when you actually add them up, they're all doing equally as well, but it never looks as well as it did the time when it put up hit the Diff. That's 6 years ago. You know, since that, Facebook's now doing videos, and they're also the music business is changing that way, but it's still pretty good. There's a lot of platforms you can get to the fans, which is good, you know. So it's still very good, as you said. Yeah, it takes a while to go around adding up all the numbers, but it's good. You know,
indeed, it is. That's absolutely, it is absolutely astounding stuff. It really is well done. You were doing, you were one busy lad. I mean, before the lockdown.
Yeah, that's right. They're doing a lot of shows and recording. I'm trying to put out more singles now. So we done the big tour, and we done a few gigs in Australia and then on to New Zealand. And we were just back, lucky enough we go back home for that. So, but during lockdown, when I did come home, I had a lot of songs I had in my head that I wanted to record. So I actually got a lot of time because of the studio in my own house. I was fit to record away through the whole lockdown as if nothing ever happened, and keep myself to myself and just record away. So it was actually good that way. It was for I've a few songs recorded of my own now, ready to go back out now. So it's good.
That's excellent. So, your latest offering, mind you, I was quite surprised when I got a Dirt on My Boots, which is not an original of yours.
That's right. It's. I just decided I never actually released a cover before, and it's one of these kind of things where I was like, I had some of my own ready to go, and I goes, there was somebody mentioned that song to me a long time ago, and I was like, yeah, I don't think I'll put out a cover. But then I said, some of the biggest bands in the world still release covers, and something's there, But the story of Dirt on My Boots, I really loved the storyline to it, and I really loved the kind of a feel to it. So I sort of knew the fans seemed to be liking it okay. So the thing is, when I'm driving the truck to the shows and that, like at the Farmers Bash and that, when you jump out, your boots are all the story, so people are saying, look at the set of your boots and that. So I sort of recorded that song because I really loved the storyline to it.
Indeed.
And I just loved that fact that, years ago, many's a night, people would go out with the dirty clothes still on them, just coming home from work and straight out to the nightclubs. And, it's kind of a true story. So I just said I would do that one cover before I move on, because I've 20 of my own songs released on the 2 albums. So I decided I'd just do one cover for the crack, and it's just one of them songs. So yeah, it seems to be doing okay. So
indeed,
people can relate to it, I know.
Indeed, Marty. Listen, I was saying at the start that you're one of the very, very few artists that have actually performed live in front of a crowd, and you did that recently at the famous Farmers Bash in Ballymena in County Antrim. There was yourself, Derek Ryan, and Philomena Begley on stage.
That's right. Yes, that's right. So I think it was the first. Yeah. So I hear it was definitely the first. So I was myself that actually opened it before Philomena, and I wasn't too sure how it was going to go. So after all the good weather, it actually ended up lashing rain. So it was 3 months of good weather, and the first gig to come in for the summer, it rained. So I was like, this is going to be interesting. But I had my big truck there and a big trailer and all, paints and all, and we were doing a click and collect out of the back of the trailer, sort of through the web. So the people all drove in their cars, and basically we went on. I goes, I wonder how this is going to go now, because you can't connect to the crowd. So I started off by shouting, can you hear me out there? Flash your horns, and they'd all blow the horns and flash your lights, and they'd flash their lights. So at the end of every song, when you'd finish, the horns would be blowing, the lights would be flashing, and because it was raining, you could really see all the lights flashing like a big concert, So it actually, the connection with the crowd was actually very, very good. So people sat in their cars, and they would go to our website and type in buy whatever they wanted. We get the email, the team that I had with me get the email, and they would deliver to the cars from the back of the trailer. So it was all new and different, but it was actually a very, very good few nights, very, very, very energetic, and all was good, so.
Indeed, I did manage to actually see a little stream, a short stream of you performing on stage at it, and it sounded great, and the reaction was absolutely fantastic. And you had all the cars there, and then as you could see from the stage, there were the tractors at the back.
That's right, yeah. So they left so many places of tractors, which I thought was pretty cool, because that is different. There's not too many people that have said that they went to a gig and started looking at the band and sitting in a tractor. So there was a lot of things actually on that night that was sort of making history. The click and collect, the vans were the chip vans. The people had to go around and take your order from the car. So the people were actually sitting back in the cars, relaxed, fit to order merch. They were fit to just somebody come to the window, order food. The people were fit to sit in their tractors or their cars. And I have to say, it did actually work. It did actually work. So it was history in the making, I suppose.
Indeed it was. Yes, it was the very very first sort of major drive-in gig that there was. So well done on it, and it was absolutely superb. That the atmosphere and everything was there, even in the strangest of times that we have.
That's right, and it's good to see, and funny enough, when the tickets went to see and the people went mad for them, and the crowds really make shows. Like at the end of the day, I used to always say that even if you're playing in a massive stadium, take the crowd away, and what really have you after all? You could put any amount of money to it, but until the crowd's there's no atmosphere, So the crowd really, really made it, and I have to say, when you asked them a question from the stage, they reacted with their cars, which fair play to them. I was afraid there was going to be no connection. You'd say something and it was just going to be quiet, But it wasn't, so it was good.
That's excellent. So since lockdown, you've been hard at work in the studio.
That's right. Yeah, I've write a few of my own songs recorded now. So I'm working on videos now at the minute for them, and I do a lot of my own videos and my own recording, and most of my own producing, and if another lad, Tony Reddy, comes in, does a wee bit with me, but most of the songs are recorded, sort of ready to go, but it's just the videos now, so I'm hoping to put another release out now in a month's time, so hopefully now, so it's great actually to get time to record. Sometimes when you're on the road, it's when you do everything yourself, it's very hard to get time, but still, I think we'll get it out now in a month's time, another song, another original.
That's excellent. Lovely to hear that. I'm looking forward to that. Marty, listen, it's been lovely to catch up with you. Congratulations and well done on all your success so far, and wishing you all the success in the world continually in the field of music and all your other endeavours. It's lovely to catch up with you. It really is.
I know, man, and thanks for having me on, Jerry. And I just want to say a big hello to all the fans and a big thank you to these all. Fair play to you. It's great. It's great to be getting to do all this, and so thanks for having me on the show, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.